Hello and welcome to this video. I'll be briefly explaining the software and tools you need to start video editing. Okay, first thing you need is a compositor. This is basically a program used to compile various effects and stuff. So now the industry standard compositor is After Effects, and I have that here. And you can see that After Effects is basically a program where you can compile various effects and resources and assets, and I'll explain those things are in future videos soon in some tutorials. But you can see that it's basically this interface, and for example I can just go here and just pick a muzzle flash and drop it in here, and see here, put it there, and I can just basically layer different pictures and animations, and then edit them with various effects. For example, you know, there's making it 3D effects, blur effects, everything, and then also using plugins like the Trapcode or Video Copilot plugins to edit them further. So that's what a compositor is, just basically compositing lots of different effects to create a sort of effect. So like for example, a bullet shot, you would compile and composite a muzzle flash and smoke, and then blood and a bullet hit, if for example it hits a wall or something. So that's what you would use a compositor for. Okay, and sorry about that, just a quick sorry about that. Okay, so that's what you use a compositor for. And then you need stocks. That's what you need for editing. So stocks is simply, just to sort of summarize what a stock is. A stock is like stock audio, stock video, and stock image. These are basically stuff you'll record and capture with microphones, or like get them from websites and images and then use them. So this is basically your raw footage. For example, a picture of a short video of a gun blowback from videocopilot.net. So that's like our stock video, and you can get these off the internet or buy them, or just record your own, really. And then the next thing you need is our assets and resources. So if we go to After Effects, you can see that an asset is various like effects. So for example, fire, we can just pick one and just it will come here and just place it in here, and it's basically animated. And let me just actually make a new project quickly and add that again. So you can see here that we have a fire effect. So that's what it is, and then we can then compile this on top of various other stuff, add that to things. So an asset is basically, like for example, it's basically an effect, like a muzzle flash effect, or a spark effect, or a glass effect, or a particle effect, like that. And then again, you can make your own, either physically by like actually carrying out this sort of experiment and then recording it, or you could buy them. You can get them off the internet, or you can, there are some free ones, but everyone most commonly uses Action Essentials 2 from Video Copilot. And yeah, so the next thing is a good file viewer, and I'm not talking about something like Windows Explorer. I'm talking about something like Adobe Bridge, which does come free with most Adobe products. So it's like a file viewer, but it has something special for video editors. So for example, let's go into Assets and into Action Essentials 2, and say for example I have a gunshot, and I am in my gallery of muzzle flashes. So I just need to see what these are like. So say for example, it's a machine gun. I can just see it from this thumbnail. That's like that. And something you can notice that you can't play videos from Explorer or Finder, but from Bridge you can. And they say short, rough, not rendered version. So but you can roughly see what that thing is like. So you can see what the muzzle flash is like. You can see what. 1 second. You can see what those sparks are like. You can just roughly see, and then directly you can just right click it and just press place in After Effects, and then it's here. And I accidentally opened Device Central, but we'll just ignore that. But you can see here that we've got the thing. So it's just a simple few clicks just to get that thing from Bridge straight into After Effects. Now the next thing you need is a graphics editor. Most people use Photoshop, however there are free alternatives such as GIMP and stuff. So quite simply, just to edit pictures, pretty much everyone knows what Photoshop does. Another video editor for compiling all your shots. So let me just roughly explain why you would want that. So as you can see, for example, in Premiere Pro you would just have one clip, and it's quite simply like that. When After Effects you're compiling loads of different clips, and it would get all cluttered, and you can't really compile a whole full movie in After Effects, as it would be cluttered with all the effects and everything. So what people actually do is use After Effects along with a compiler. So some people use Final Cut, but the best option is Premiere Pro, as After Effects and Premiere just like work directly with each other. So say for example that I'm making something in After Effects and I want to put into Premiere Pro. So what I can do is I can just go to import and press the Epic Particles thing and press OK. And 1 second. Yep, and it's been imported here. So this is here, and this is my After Effects project footage, and notice that I didn't have to render it out. This is the project, I didn't have to render anything. And then you can see that it says replace with After Effects composition. So if I were to go into After Effects and open this and start editing it, I wouldn't have to render it, I would just have to save it and press replace. So without having to render out the whole thing and then put it back in and then putting it back in here, I can just simply change it in After Effects and like sort of refresh it and put it back in here. And then so you need like a sort of compiler. So these are the clips and all this, but with After Effects you'd have all the effects and stuff which would get cluttered. Okay, now the next thing is you need like plugins. These are optional, but for example there are many popular plugins. Like for example there's the best way to illustrate this would be with text. So for example if I just type something, and so a plugin is basically an effect that you download. So for example Video Copilot Twitch, I can just go here, enable it, and just slightly edit this, and you can just see that we have the effect here, and it's basically making it twitch the thing. So for example the color, just like really enable all of these stuff and reduce the RGB split, and you can see that it's like an extra add-on effect that doesn't come with After Effects. So for example there's stuff like Trapcode Particular, which is used to make fancy sort of animations, and in case you want to see the kind of thing I'm talking about, then just type it into YouTube and you can see here we have, for example, this. For example, professional effects like that. And you see these like every day on TV and stuff. Well, this is one of the things that they use. One of the plugins that they use. So anyway, so that's usually like, plugins they can just use. And by the way, Soundkeys is really good. It's just like sync video and audio, and so you're going to need a camera for collecting footage. And then just one more thing I like about is something called Mocha, which is this, and it comes bundled with After Effects, but is a kind of like a separate program, and it's got an interface like similar to Maya, well, sort of. And basically what it is for 3D tracking. So say for example you had a shooting scene and you wanted, for example, a bullet hit on a wall. You'd have the picture of a bullet hit and you'd put it over the thing, and to have that bullet hit just continuously throughout the video, you have to track it. So you would track it in Mocha and then transfer that to After Effects, and the tracking would be there, and it would continuously be there for however long you want. So that's what Mocha is for. So thanks for watching, and I hope if you have any questions or anything, in the comments, or send me a message. Rate, comment and subscribe.